Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Alt King Podcast. I'm your host, Tay, with my co-host, Corbin, and today we are diving deep into IOTA. But before we get into that, we would, like to thank you all for over 800 subscribers now.
Where are we at? Like 842? 841?
844, I think.
What?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. Came
awesome.
a long way, and it's only been a little bit less than 2 months.
Yeah. Incredible.
Once we hit 1,000 subs, though, major giveaway.
Yeah.
Major giveaway.
Major key. Watch, just get copyright claimed for that.
No good. But yeah, once we hit 1,000 subs, hoping to hit that by the end of this month, we will be doing a major giveaway of a couple different NFTs and just a bunch of stuff.
A couple different HBAR NFTs, maybe some XRP NFT tokens. Might even throw in a meta whip for all you ETH. Oh, oh gosh. You poor ETH NFT people.
Oh no. And maybe even some crypto. Who knows? Get us there. But before we dive...
Y'all can do it. We believe in you guys.
Yes, you can. But before we dive into IOTA, we got to do the giveaway winner for the Creets.
Yes, the Kenny.
Drum roll, please. And the winner of the Creets Kenny NFT giveaway is Red Bull 123X. We'll be DMing you on Twitter. Congratulations.
Golf clap.
That was loud.
Yeah, that was really loud. I'll fix it in post. Don't worry. Okay.
No. But we have a lot of great episodes lined up for these next few weeks leading up to the end of the month. It's going to be a very, very interesting couple of episodes. Yes.
Jam-packed.
Great creators of different NFT projects and another great token that we're going to be talking about to end off March.
And end off the ISO20022. Well, no, we should do one on XLM too.
I guess we can.
Yeah,
we'll do that
to sort of finish off the ISO coins, and we can go more in depth about those.
Yes, too. And then after XLM, we'll hit strong.
Yeah, we still need to hit strong, Mr. Node Boy himself.
Yes, indeed.
Proud of you, buddy.
So IOTA.
It's
a great token. ISO20022 compliant.
Yep.
If you don't know what that is, just go check out a couple of our other videos. Or you can...
We should actually make a whole video on ISO 2022.
Yeah, it's a great messaging system that's going to be used all around the world.
For the banking system.
Yes, the banking system.
Yep.
IOTA has a circulating supply of 2.7 billion. The price is sitting at roughly 78 cents. And yeah, it's a great token. We are actually going to throw this video out on Thursday of last week, but...
The audio software we used to record this decided it wanted to fight us heavily. Yeah.
IOTA.
IOTA
is a distributed ledger technology with one big difference. It is not actually a blockchain.
No.
It's quite interesting. It's a proprietary technology, and it's a directed acyclic graph, also known as a DAG. And they call this DAG a Tangle, which can be pictured as a multi-dimensional blockchain. So basically, in a sense, kind of similar to Hedera's blockchain.
Yeah.
In ways, but it's feeless.
Yeah. So it's kind of like how, for instance, there's different types of fuels you can put in cars.
Yes.
So there's gas, and there's ethanol, and there's hydrogen, and all of them have some small characteristics that sort of carry over to each one to ultimately generate power.
For sure.
It's the same thing with HBAR and with IOTA, of how they do have a couple little similarities between them, but they're sort of executed differently.
Of course. Yeah, this allows for greater speeds than the conventional blockchain, an ideal footprint for the ever-expanding Internet of Things ecosystem.
Yes.
Which
is massive.
Yes.
Massive.
Yes.
The Internet of Things is already ramping up to be just ridiculously gigantic.
So since there's no blockchain, there are no miners. And because there are no miners, there are no fees. IOTA's goal is to become a de facto platform for executing transactions between IoT devices. IoT devices are the Internet of Thing devices, and you can literally find those anywhere around your house, such as...
Just about. If you have any smart products, so that would be a smart thermostat, a smart refrigerator, your vehicle, especially if you have like a Tesla or a newer vehicle that receives over-the-air software updates.
Anything with a GPU.
anything with a CPU,
CPU,
technically, and that's also connected to the internet,
Yes.
could kind of be seen as that.
A smartphone.
Yeah, smartphone would be part of it. Yeah.
The most ones that you guys are probably watching off a smartphone or computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are all different sorts of Internet of Things that would be used through IOTA. Oh, IOTA would use those to go. IOTA would use those just to transact throughout. It's more or less just. You're gonna have to pick me up on.
It's all right.
Nah.
The way unless somebody feel free to chime in the comments if I'm wrong on this, but the way I could potentially see this being used just as one little use case, if you have, for instance, a Nest thermostat,
Yes.
you download the Google Home app. Maybe you might still use the Nest app. I think they're trying to phase that out. But anyway, I digress. So you go into the Google Home app and you say you want to set the air to 75 degrees, right? So you go on your phone, you hit, you want it to be 75. And then it doesn't make a direct communication with the thermostat. Basically, it creates a secure little thing, basically a secure request to a Google server that hosts the Nest sort of ecosystem within it. And that Google server will then tell the Nest thermostat to execute that action. Where that's really not the most secure thing ever. Definitely not.
And not as efficient as it could be.
Yeah, and it's slower too. So you could potentially use IOTA, and like I said, I could be wrong, but this is just a little bit of what would be a word for that? Some headcanon or something.
Sure.
For that.
Yeah.
But potentially you could use it to basically tell the thermostat directly to do a particular action, even if you are connected to the internet, because all these blockchains are very secure and very, very quick.
Yes.
And because IOTA is literally designed to be very teeny tiny, you could potentially use that to execute different actions on different Internet of Things devices. That's the way I think of it.
Yes. And there's estimates suggest that there's roughly going to be 20.4 billion devices by 2024.
Sheesh.
IOTA also means what is the meaning for? It was IOTA means in Greek a very small amount.
Yep.
Like you said, teeny tiny.
Yeah, because
you go.
Sorry. Yeah, because it's going to basically be used to conduct very small transactions. That's the niche that IOTA is going for, is specifically for little tiny, actions or communications between different devices.
Indeed. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
What is the IOTA Foundation?
So the IOTA Foundation is a global charitable nonprofit organization that develops the IOTA protocol and then ultimately steers open source governance to bring the technology to production maturity. And it's based out of Berlin, which is pretty cool. And the IOTA Foundation aims to build a standardized protocol for the Internet of Things.
Wow.
Which is pretty beefy stuff there.
Yeah, definitely. They have major partnerships all around the world.
Yeah, major
coming from partners like Jaguar, Land Rover.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know of these. You probably worked off one of these computers before. Dell Technologies.
Yep.
And there's just there's an expansive amount, over 100 organizations across the world. Zebra is also a big one.
Yeah, Zebra's massive in office space technology and even like general supplies and stuff. They make really good pens.
Yeah, and you can also, if you work for a retail store like Walmart.
Yeah, any big box retailer for the most part uses
will be using their devices.
To
scan
to
the
do
items,
inventory and things.
Stuff of that sort.
Yeah, and then they're also partnered with Volkswagen as well, which is pretty cool.
It's a very broad market that they're trying to. They're basically trying to hit everything.
Yeah. I would definitely see them pivoting more towards car manufacturers as time goes on, because ultimately a lot of these companies, I'm sure, don't want to have to dump a ton of R&D money into developing a whole Internet of Things infrastructure for these vehicles. I mean, like Tesla, for instance, they've already kind of done that because they have the whole autopilot stuff. Yeah. They can all sense where all of them are. They're already basically fully integrated into the Internet of Things. I could potentially see it being also used for Teslas in the future when autopilot fully gets developed and it becomes full. I think it's like level 4 or 5 self-driving, of where you don't have to be even awake in the car. Like, it fully does everything for you.
That is scary.
It's got enough sensors and everything that, like, potentially you could do that, but I don't know if I trust that.
They still require you to put your hands on the car a certain amount of times.
Yeah. But that's because they're at a certain level of autonomy. There's certain levels to it. So, for instance, if you have a car that has adaptive cruise control, that's a certain level of autonomy.
Gotcha.
Because the car will automatically keep the car a certain distance away from the vehicle in front of you. So even if you have the cruise control set to 75 or whatever, and the car in front of you is going 70, as you slowly start to creep up on that car and you're maybe not paying attention or anything, it'll start to slowly back off the throttle a little bit down to 70.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's also those cars that have the assistant lanes.
Yeah, lane keep assist.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's another level, like 1 or 2, because ultimately you still need to be fully aware. You still need to have your hands on the wheel and everything. So I think autopilot is the one step above that, which is why I think it's level 3 or 4, and then level 5 is like full autonomy. You don't even need a steering wheel. You're having conversations with your passengers, and one person's facing the other side.
Oh my gosh.
It's
you're rolling up a cigarette in the driver's seat, not even having to worry about.
Oh yeah, no, you don't have to care at all.
So we talked about the directed acyclic graph, and they specifically call theirs a tangle. Mm-hmm. What is a tangle?
So the Tangle is essentially the infrastructure that IOTA runs on, similar to a blockchain like the XRP ledger for XRP or the hash graph for HBAR. It is very different, though, from other infrastructures because each transaction that needs to be done on it basically will validate 2 other transactions when you go to send out a new transaction. And that's why it's called a tangle, because it's like a big web of transactions all sort of like happening at once. But that's also why it is free and it doesn't require any miners or nodes or anything like that, because for a device to process like 2 or 3 transactions on it, it's nothing.
Instantaneous.
Like, yeah, if you think about it, like our smartphones and things are so ridiculously powerful. We have like a supercomputer in our pockets.
Yeah, think about if you have just like iMessage. You send messages instantly. Mm-hmm. Compared to, that'd be interesting to integrate that into iMessage. Maybe to use that in Apple Pay or something for sending people money directly, so it doesn't have to go through that whole whatever infrastructure they have to lower the fees for Apple to actually run that infrastructure. Wow.
It's actually not a bad idea.
I didn't never think about that, actually.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the messaging aspect of it.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
But Apple Pay, yeah, that's definitely something they could potentially consider down the road.
Or XLM.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends.
And what I like to think about whenever we talk about a tangle, it just, all of the transactions, not necessarily being, like, tangled up and, like, being congested, but more or less being tangled up and then just pulling one side of it, and it's just a perfect line. Like, it's a string, it's like a ball of string being tangled up all together, and you have all of these different transactions happening and touching each other, and then if you pull that one end of the string, it just creates a perfect line. Like, you have 0 knots.
Yeah, exactly. And the other cool thing, too, is it's very easily scalable, too. So if there happens to be a ton of load on the network at any one given time, you could potentially send out, 3, 4, 5 transactions to these devices to handle the validation of them, to sort of ease some load on the network overall, which is cool.
Yeah. And after you send 2 or more transactions, once you send more than 2 transactions, it validates the next. So say one transaction sent, and then say somebody else from another party sends another transaction to somebody else, then when that happens, it's validated.
Yeah, those other 2 are validated. Because obviously the device that's sending the transaction can't validate it. That's not secure in any way.
Yeah. Very true. But compared to the Bitcoin blockchain, it's much more effective.
Oh, so much
and
more
much more efficient, as well as the Ethereum. Because Ethereum's blockchain, it's whoever has the most money to spend on fees gets validated first.
Yeah, whoever has the most money to pay for gas and basically skip the line.
Yeah. It's like a line of 10,000 people lining up for Travis Scott's concert. And the people who have the most money get in first. Yeah. Obviously, of course, that's how majority of things go.
Or you just jump the fence. It's such an interesting analogy you made there.
Yeah,
Jam.
I know. I don't know why I said Travis Scott, but first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, but it would be like, I don't know, if you want to use somebody else that's more exclusive, like Kanye, it'd be like you got tickets to a Kanye concert, but because other people were there that wanted to pay 30, 40 grand for a ticket ahead of you.
Not even front row.
Not even front row, and it invalidates your ticket. Like, that's not cool.
Not at all.
I wonder how many, like, dead Ethereum transactions there are. Because, you know, like, if you don't have enough gas to fund a transaction, you have to go in and manually cancel it, but, like, how many, like, dead Ethereum transactions there are. That would be an interesting statistic.
Probably billions.
Probably. I mean, it's been around enough and it's used widely enough that I wouldn't honestly be surprised.
Yeah, definitely millions, probably billions, so I'd say. Yeah. Probably at least a handful of billions. A handful
of billions.
5 max.
Yeah. Little teeny tiny billions.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Couple billion failed transactions, that's all. No biggie.
Casual. Yeah, because it's definitely sustainable, guys.
Not at all.
Ethereum's the future. Vitalik for president.
No comment. So, like Bitcoin's, you have a full Bitcoin, and then besides the Bitcoin, you have Satoshis.
Yeah, there's smaller increments of Bitcoin than just one whole Bitcoin.
But for IOTA, their smaller increments is MIOTA.
No, actually,
it's the opposite.
So IOTA itself, just if you say IOTA, that is one of the very small,
the smallest of small
denominations of IOTA. So an MIOTA is actually the more correct term that exchanges and stuff should list, because you're dealing with hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of IOTAs. So trying to do that on an exchange would be worse than trying to figure out how many zeros that Shiba Inu has today when you're trying to leverage trade it on KuCoin or something horrendous and disgusting like that.
Or on like Tether Swap or something.
It's gonna be all right, bud.
No comment.
Deep breaths.
So 1 MIOTA is equal to 1 million IOTAs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of IOTAs.
Yeah. So if you hold 1 IOTA in your wallet, or you buy 1 IOTA on an exchange, it's essentially 1 MIOTA technically. It's kind of interesting trying to figure out how to value such a small amount of IOTA. So if it's going for, what was it, 78 cents?
Yes, it's going for 78.
It's going for 78 cents, and you divide that by a million. How many zeros is that, Tate? That's like a quiche.
It's 9.
You did that math really quick.
No, sorry, that's 7. 7 zeros, 6 zeros. No, yeah.
My last brain cell gave up on that one. It just was like, nah, fam. Not
9 would be like 100 million, but yeah, it's 7. My brain's all over the place today. It's been a great day.
It's
complete sarcasm, but it's all right. We're here.
We gonna be all right.
We love the alt kings, and that's all that matters.
Exactly. This is the good stuff right here.
This is royalty.
Sure, we'll go with that.
MIOTA is used as the unit to trade and keep the numbers manageable on most crypto exchanges. 1 MIOTA, obviously 1 million IOTAs, is a unit that is being bought or sold. And IOTA is not listed on as many exchanges as it should be.
Correct.
And what's really interesting about this is, like, we have these tokens called, like, ApeCoin. And they get listed instantaneous on a major exchange like Coinbase. When you have all of these ISO20022 compliant tokens, the tokens that actually matter in today's society, sitting on the sidelines waiting for the opportunity to be listed on these major exchanges.
Correct.
And it's so sad and so sickening to see.
Speaking of ApeCoin, do you know why it was listed so quickly?
Why? Because they probably gave Coinbase like $100 million or something?
I mean, possibly. Yeah, Joe Lubin would like to know your location. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Because ApeCoin is an ERC20 token, it can very easily be added to their infrastructure.
Makes sense.
But because Coinbase, I feel like they have more of a different kind of a vibe to them, because they only have like 70 or 80 coins listed. I feel like it's almost like a curated list that all of the original holders can use for exit liquidity later.
Scratching my head to that disgrace.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, IOTA and majority of the ISO 20022 tokens are not listed on major exchanges.
Correct.
And one, I see that as a great opportunity to enter these tokens at a very smaller amount than they're expected to reach.
Yeah.
And two, it just shows that some exchanges are just blind to the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what pricing happens with all of these different ISO coins when they eventually get listed. So XDC is not listed, right?
Nope.
Algo's not listed.
Nope.
IOTA's not listed.
Nope.
XRP's not listed anymore. XLM's listed.
But the price barely moves.
The price does barely move. But another one, too, though, is Quant.
Yeah, but Quant's not ISO 20022. And it's also... it
true.
works off of ERC.
Yeah, it is an ERC20 token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, it made it.
It made it.
And it's not delisted yet.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
But the future for IOTA is very bright. They have a great team backing them. There's 4 co-founders. I'm not going to say their names because I would completely butcher these.
They're going to be listed here. And their names are all very... Did you say they're German?
There's something.
I don't know how you pronounce an O with a slash through it.
Yeah.
I need somebody to define that for me.
Sonstebo. I don't even... See, I told you I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not even trying.
We already got canceled from the Creeds video. We don't need to get canceled again, okay?
Oh, no, that's our best video, too.
Yes! Congratulations to Warlock and Kenny. Congratulations to Warlock and Key on that one. It's our best video so far.
Yeah.
Incredible.
You did it.
You did it, bud.
He's probably sitting here watching this episode. He's like, I did it!
I did a thing! Buy some Creeds.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is IOTA. Yeah.
Indeed. We'll definitely be doing a part 2 on all of this, as well as every other token that we talk about.
Yes.
That matters.
Or if it's XRP, we'll be on like part 20 and we'll be like, oh, well, there's another part we can do.
Part 27, and we are still in lawsuit.
Yeah. And then also, too, I will have in the video just kind of randomly listed because floating around because I forgot to mention it earlier. There's this amazing Twitter account that's a Reddler that's super smart that has all of these great infographics about how all of these different blockchains sort of work together, and it basically just kind of lays out like an easy diagram of like, hey, this does this, and because this does this, this enables this, and this is a connection, and da-da-da-da-da. His name is XX_1133_1221_11. Rolls right off the tongue.
He's a true Riddler.
True Riddler. He will be linked in the description. And then there is another guy.
And what's cool about these are they set up these graphs and these they basically line up everything perfectly as it will be used in the future of society. Utility theory is another really good one. I'll have him linked down there. Just go read through and just absorb all of this knowledge. And they're not even that hard to read through. No. I mean, they're lined up pretty... I mean, sometimes they can be a little... Yeah, sometimes they can have sometimes they can and planets and QR codes. So sometimes they can look a little bit overwhelming, but that's because there is so much information, and this is kind of giving you a top-down perspective of all the information, and they include like QR codes and stuff in there, so that way you can go into individual little pieces of the pie, so to speak, to read more about a certain... You better show them this one after I said all that. Oh, 100% I am showing them this one. This one even though it's not even IOTA, it's XRP, but still, it's a funny looking one, but it explains a lot. Yeah. And that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, IOTA is just... It's going to be used for more or less just bridging all Internet of Things. Yep. And when you have something like this that's able to connect basically every single sort of technological device that has a CPU. Internet connection. Yes, and internet connection. You're able to send not necessarily just messages, but you're able to just send any sort of, I guess you could say, any sort of just, what was it? Action. Any sort of action.
Yeah.
Throughout the network.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you're able to just send any sort of action throughout the network at a very, very quick speed for no fees.
Yeah, and also very cheap in terms of if you think about a purely data perspective. So if you think about how many action calls a vehicle has to do, like for instance a Tesla with autopilot, how many different individual little actions that car has to do.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, no, the processing power needed for it is ridiculous. But I could also see this being used for like if you have another Tesla next to you, it could potentially maybe use IOTA to send live data over to it about where the positioning of the other vehicle is. Because not only does it have the sensors, but you always want redundancy.
Yeah.
Redundancy is huge, and it's life-saving.
Yeah.
So you could potentially use that to just beam it directly over. I don't see why not.
And they could also... it basically just be... I mean, if you're in that situation of two Teslas, it's basically just connecting each other's brains, more or less, of the road.
Yeah.
Providing more information of how the road's going to be.
Yeah, I could also see it being used for data collection just at a raw level for Tesla in general.
Yeah.
Just having the cars beam up all of this information.
Or more or less just promoting IOTA to Tesla right now. But it's really smart. I mean, I don't know if you guys probably have never seen those videos of like Tesla, the computers inside Teslas working while like the live feed of a Tesla car driving on autopilot as
it's wild.
All of the things around it are being like...
It's actively identifying it.
As the world's going on and revolving, like kids walking across the street, other cars passing by.
Bikers.
Yes, anything. Yeah. It's able to just sense it immediately. Mm-hmm. And IOTA is one of those technologies where, although Tesla can sense it immediately, IOTA could sense it even faster.
I wouldn't say that necessarily. So you're close. But the difference is the information the car is receiving has to be processed locally on the car, because no matter what, you're going to have latency. And, half a millisecond can be the difference between,
a car crash.
Yeah, between a car crash or you accidentally hitting a pedestrian or something like that. But I could potentially see IOTA being used to quickly beam stuff to either to Tesla directly or to other Teslas, or even make some sort of an infrastructure, sort of like how there's an ISO20022 standard for the banking system, so they all have one giant messaging system that everybody can equally communicate on and everybody understands, that they could potentially use that for vehicles themselves. So they're already partnered with Volkswagen and they're partnered with Jaguar Land Rover, and potentially, it would be cool if they came up with some sort of a system that like was maybe either a positional thing or some sort of a collision avoidance thing that was like an industry standard thing that everybody could potentially use.
Like connected all smart cars.
Yeah.
All Internet of Things devices.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Computers, phones.
It's kind of scary, and it kind of makes me want to live in a cabin in the middle of like North Dakota, but like, you could potentially do that.
Flee to the mountains and just never use your phone again. You live off of fire and knives. You hunt for your food.
Yes,
fish.
You eat the knives. No. You're living off of just fire and knives. You don't drink any water.
Well, the only way to survive is God. Down bad. Part 2 will be coming out with a lot more depth into IOTA's technology, and we will be providing a lot more in-depth research about Tangle. Mm-hmm. And
there is also a fabulous article you guys should check out on CoinMarketCap's website that actually is a full like deep dive article into this if you're more into just like plain Jane reading, which this is America, who does that? Anyway,
you need to read your books or articles.
Okay, articles, yeah. Okay, I can get behind that. But yeah, there's a article by Jacob Check. Yes. I think that's how you say the last name.
9 months ago.
That did a very good write up on this that you can check that out too. Lots of good info.
Only 22 minutes long. 22 minutes of your day. You're probably sitting on TikTok for 22 minutes of your day, wasting your wasting your brain power on videos of girls just dancing.
Being a slave to the algorithm.
Literally.
It's sad.
You're probably watching NYC Talk. What's up, baby? When you see these dogs in your front yard, just know upstairs, I'm going hard.
Who the heck is NYC Talks?
NYC Talk is just this dude who goes around NYC and just talks to just bystanders.
Fuck your life! Bing bong!
Oh, is that the Bing Bong guy?
Yeah. Oh no, he's on the episodes, but yeah, that's where he
Oh,
came
okay,
about.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you're probably just sitting at home doing stuff like that. Take 22 minutes, read up on an article, you'll learn a lot, and this might make you want to invest.
TikTok is like junk food for your brain, where this is like a nice salad.
This is soul food, not junk.
No, this isn't on Soul Tate. This is on IOTA.
Oh my god. This is...
And plus, if this was soul food, I'd be allergic to it.
Well, I just can't win today. Well, with that being said,
Yep.
this has been the Alt Kings podcast. We appreciate every single one of you. Get us to 1,000 subs in a month, and we will bless all of you.
It's going to be a fantastic giveaway.
We hope you all have a great night.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
We are out. Pain.
Pain.
Fuck. That's when you know it was a failed video.